Hello and welcome to Serious About Rugby League. I'm Joe Needley and I'm back once again with another edition of Team of the Week. Now this weekend, first of all, as we know, was a little bit tricky. What with the situation at Hull FC, their game with Castleford had to be rearranged for a later date. Castleford were forced to play St Helens, Salford having the time off as well, and as a result we only had 4 games this weekend, but the show will go on and therefore another Team of the Week coming up. And as usual, we'll kickstart with the coach. Now, this was a fairly obvious choice. Heaviest win of the weekend by far. It was a solid team effort. I've gone for Steve McNamara of the Catalan Dragons. He has won the Coach of the Week for this time around. 58-0 decimation of Wakefield. It really was a complete performance, and therefore he's been named as coach. Fullback, a much more tricky one this one. It was a 3-way horse race, this one. Sam Tompkins, he had an excellent game for Catalan, as did St Helens, his man of the match, Lachlan Coo, when they defeated Castleford 10-0 on Sunday. But staying on Sunday, I have gone at fullback for Wigan's X-Factor, as called by his head coach Adrian Lamb. I've gone for Bevan French. He scored 2 very good tries, as well as managing 8 tackle busts, as well as 90 metres from 12 carries. He's a very dependable, exciting player, and he has been a smart acquisition by Wigan from Parramatta. Therefore, I've gone for Bevan French at fullback. On the wingers, a more straightforward one, this one. Sorry, I'll lose my word in there. But this one was a much more straightforward one. An obvious choice had to be hat-trick hero Tom Davis. Davis, as well as scoring a hat-trick, managed 3 tackle busts, as well as 198 metres from 21 carries. That takes some going, that, for a winger. But Tom Davis, outstanding player, as he has been in the past. He's not had the best luck with injury. But since the restart from lockdown, he really has come to the fore for the Catalan Dragons. And he was another who had an excellent game against Wakefield on Saturday. He's the first choice. And joining him, funnily enough, is his teammate, Fuad Yaha. That's right, we've got an all-Catalan combination on the wing. Yaha scored a try as well as provided an assist, as well as 4 tackle busts from the big man. Not to mention his 125 metres from 14 carries. Therefore, it's an all-Catalan combination this time around. And now on to the centres. And speaking of Catalans, that's right. And I swear there's no bias here. Just sort of get that out to everyone. The first centre I've gone for is Sonny Lange. Lange scored 2 tries as well as assisted in another. Therefore, he had a hand in 3 of their 10 tries on Saturday against Wakefield. But as well as that, 5 tackle busts as well as 152 metres from 12 carries. He's always been somewhat of an unsung hero at Catalan, as Sonny Lange. I mean, he arrived in this country and played for the Lee Centurions first time around. But ever since coming to Catalan, he really has made a name for himself. He's doing ever so well. Perhaps goes under the radar there, and therefore he is chosen this weekend because of his outstanding contribution to Catalan's win on Saturday. Joining him there, this may come as a surprise to some people, I've actually gone for Warrington centre, Toby King. Toby King had 2 tries in their narrow win over Huddersfield on Saturday. It may have been a bit controversial to some, however, the show went on and Warrington did get a much valuable win on Saturday against the Giants. Toby King had a hand in that because not only did he assist in 2 tries, but 9 tackle busts as well as 108 metres with ball in hand from just 13 carries. He's always been an exciting player as Toby King. I've always liked his sidestepping ability as well as we know, his ability to create tries, and that's what he did on Saturday for Warrington. Therefore, Toby King is chosen with Lange at centre. Halfback combination. Now, this may come as a bit of a funny reading. Standoff, as he was named there by head coach Adrian Lamb. That's right, you guessed it. It's his Jackson Hastings, the current man of steel. Jackson Hastings, he assisted in 2 of Wigan's tries on Sunday in their win over Leeds. Not to mention his 4 tackle busts, 3 attacking kicks, and let's not forget 161 metres from 22 carries. He gets everywhere, does Hastings. I mean, although at international level it didn't quite work out for him, but he's still dominating it at domestic level, and Hastings is still one of the most dominant players in the competition, and therefore he's at standoff. Scrum half. This was a much more difficult choice, this one, because although the likes of Aidan Caesar and Josh Drinkwater had very good games for Huddersfield and Catalan respectively, so did Theo Fash for St Helens. However, now this may come controversial, but but as I say, just cast me later. It's all right. I've gone for Gareth Widow at scrum half. That's right. Former, England international and Great Britain international Gareth Widow. Widow was one of Warrington's try scorers over Huddersfield on Saturday. He also provided an assist, but also to complete 20 tackles to restrict Huddersfield to just 18 points took some doing. But it was mainly his attack though. I'll come back onto that helped him into the team. 7 tackle busts, 8 attacking kicks as well, and plus 82 metres from 12 carries. Widow, he really was heavily involved throughout, although it was his halfback partner Blake Austin who actually, in a way, won them the game with his drop goal. I thought Widow's contribution could not go unanswered. It could not be ignored, and therefore I've gone for Widow at scrum half. Now on to the forward pack. On the prop forward, this was another difficult choice. So although the likes of Julian Bousquet, he had a good game, scoring a try for Catalan. Chris Hill as well, he put in a big stint for Warrington over Huddersfield. And speaking of Huddersfield as well, Suia Matagi, he was chosen as a nominee, but not in the team. Now, for the final choices of the team, I've decided to go for St Helens' juggernaut, Alex Walmsley, who is still in the form of his life. And despite ending up on the losing team, I've gone for opposite number Liam Watts. Now, I'll come back onto Walmsley first of all. Walmsley made 22 tackles as well as 5 busts and plus 165 metres from 16 carries. He really did help St Helens get a very tough and gritty win over a determined and defiant Castleford Tigers side. And speaking of which, Liam Watts was one of the main men for the Tigers there. 45 tackles. That took some effort from a man who just came back from his, rather bizarre injury. But also, let's not forget, 116 metres from 15 carries. It makes you wonder how his former clubs, why they decided to let him go. But I'm sure people who are in the know can let us know on that front. But we won't go into that at the moment. So yeah, final choice, we've gone for Alex Walmsley and Liam Watts, who are our front rowers. And you never know, they could still line up as international front rowers come the World Cup next year. But that's entirely up to Sean Wayne, who congratulations to him on his new contract. But anyway, back onto the team. At hooker, now we had a few contenders here. Adam O'Brien and Darryl Clark, they both had good games in the Huddersfield-Warrington game. As did Sam Powell as well, who was highly praised by head coach Adrian Lamb in their win over Leeds. However, for his experience and attacking ability, I've gone for veteran James Rugby. Rugby, another 45 tackles by him for St Helens in their 10-0 win over Castleford. 108 metres as well from 8 carries. I mean, perhaps he was the difference. I mean, his experience and his leadership, it really did guide St Helens home. I mean, they did not have it easy. I mean, they were left rather frustrated in attack. However, they really did. It was their professionalism, I thought, that got through. And who was more professional in their side than James Rugby? You answer me that one, Saints fans. Second rowers. A rather easy choice, this one. The main one who misses out, I thought, was Jesse Senni-Lefeu. He came off the bench for Castleford, and I really thought he caused St Helens a lot of problems. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get him in the team, nor was it enough to get Castleford the win. Instead, I've gone for hat-trick hero Matt Whitley of the Catalan Dragons. Whitley, on top of his 3 tries, 23 tackles, 5 tackle busts, and 116 metres as well. I mean, he was another one, had a dominant game for the Catalan Dragons in their emphatic 58-0 win over Wakefield. And deserving of a slot. I mean, he really has improved his game since he left Widnes Vikings. Not that he was ever poor there, but I mean, he really has done well for himself since signing for the French side. And it's great to see him do so well. Speaking of which, he's joined by Liam Farrell. Liam Farrell was a try scorer for Wigan in their win over Leeds Rhinos. It was his 100th try for the club as well, let's not forget. And he actually made twice as many tackles as Whitley, with a staggering total of 46 for Wigan. It helped restrict Leeds to just 10 points conceded in the game. Perhaps some maybe say it was a bit of a flattering score for Wigan, but I mean, well done to him. It was a rather professional performance, and Liam Farrell, he led by example with all his experience. I mean, as well as that, 127 metres too, let's not forget that. But Liam Farrell, he's always been one of Wigan's best forwards in recent years, and he certainly displayed that again on Sunday evening. Now, loose forward, we had a few contenders here. Michael Lawrence and Jack Hughes. I'll come back onto that Huddersfield-Warrington game. as well as Benjamin Garcia of Catalan. He traded in hooker for loose forward this week, although just missing out on the position. Another one who retains his spot from last week. My apologies. Anyway, the one who retains his spot from last week is Ethan Havard. Havard, 38 tackles, as well as 129 metres from 15 carries. I mean, it took some doing that from such a young forward, but I mean, Adrian Lange has put the faith in his youngsters rather than purchasing others. He's down on troops. However, Ethan Havard, another fantastic youngster for Wigan, and it just goes to show how top-notch their academy setup really is there at Wigan, and deserving of a spot. He was another one. He grafted hard, and he got them through to yet another win, especially seeing as how opposite him was Leeds' evergreen Adam Cuthbertson as well. So it took some doing from Havard, but he came through, as did Wigan, who got another win and went top of the table. Anyway, that's all from me for this week, for Team of the Week. That is the full team. Let us know what you think in the comments section. I'm Joe Needley. We're serious about Rugby League. Make sure to subscribe for us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Instagram. Once again, we'll see you soon.